All right. And tip number two, honestly, I think would make a bigger difference in my journey. That is, don't worry about promotions. When we talked to Thomas Rosinski for the first time, John and I, back in 2018 or something like that, he was the first one that really kind of honed in the idea that promotions don't matter, belts don't matter. Before, I thought they were such a huge aspect of jujitsu, and I still do think they're pretty important to people. I think they do make great goals as long as it's not solely what you're focusing on. And I do think that they are a way that your professor does say thank you for all the hard work. I noticed that you're progressing, but I definitely feel like I focused a little bit too much on the belt when we first started. I was training as much as possible. I was trying to do as much as possible because I wanted my blue belt so bad. And honestly, now thinking about it, this I don't think it was necessarily a healthy relationship with jujitsu because of that. John and I would talk about it, that after we got our blue belts, we kind of took a step back from training as much because we felt like that we have accomplished our goal. And so now, we don't really need to be there as much. Blue belt's often called your longest belt, right? Besides black and up. But you often spend less time or the most time at blue belt, blue to purple. And so I kind of wonder if I were to go back and not train as much, would I be promoted as fast as I did with with a more regular schedule, not training as much, or would I have progressed less? It's an interesting thing to think about. And I think because I did train so much when I first started that it kind of made me press the brakes a little too hard after I got my blue belt. And I think I probably could have progressed faster after getting my blue belt if I didn't train as much before getting my blue belt, if that makes sense. You know, um, I would really focus on learning and perfecting techniques much more rather than the promotion as being the reason behind it. As a white belt, I definitely notice now that my escapes, and it kind of laid the foundation for my jujitsu now. My escapes back in my white belt days weren't necessarily the best because, I was focusing on other things way more than I was focusing on, getting submitted. And that's another tip later, or honing the technique as much as possible. I definitely think that was a weakness of my white belt days. And once again, I feel like I was just trying to win as much as possible to prove that I was worthy of a blue belt.